Hello and welcome. If you have been on the internet over the last week, you've probably seen a lot of people posting about the Tulsa race riots, which is interesting. You know, it feels like right now we're doing Black History in June, and of course it's relative because everything that has to do with racial injustice is relevant today. People want to dig up history and talk about it. So you know what? Today, I'm going to dig up some history and I'm going to talk about it. I have an event, a Black History event that I would like to discuss on my show today, and it is the Tuskegee experiment. How many of you guys are familiar with that? It was actually officially called the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male. And this study began in 1932, and it was conducted by the United States Public Health Service, which is a division, by the way, of the Department of Human Health Services, and also the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC. The purpose of the study was to observe the natural history of untreated syphilis, but that is not what the Black Americans that were enrolled in the study were told. Our government decided to enroll 600 impoverished Black sharecroppers from Alabama, 399 of them which had syphilis. And they told them, the government came and said, we're going to give you free health care. We're here to help. I love it. The government is always here to help. They didn't give them any information pertaining to their diagnosis, and of course, they were not actually there to help. While they were told they were going to be treated for bad blood, which was kind of a catchphrase for a bunch of things, it could have been for fatigue, it could have been for anemia, they actually just wanted to watch these men die. That was the purpose. Penicillin became widely available in 1943, so all they had to do was offer these participants a pill, penicillin, and they would have been treated, they would have been fine. But they did not want to treat them. They knew it was effective. They could have saved lives. Instead, they watched them. They told them, by the way, that the experiment was only going to last for 6 months. The study we're doing, it's going to last for 6 months, the government said. We're here to help. 6 months. It didn't last for 6 months. Began in 1932. It went on until 1972. These men were dying. They were going blind. Some of them were going crazy, and nobody said anything. In fact, and this is to me the sickest piece of the entire story, some of them went to their private doctors. I don't know what's going on, doctor. I'm sick. I don't know what's going on. I'm going blind. I'm going crazy. And our government contacted their private doctors and said, hey, don't treat these guys. We're actually observing them. They're a part of a study that they don't know that they're in, so please don't treat them. So doctors knew that their patients had syphilis, knew that they had to solve for that syphilis. They knew that they could have given them a pill and saved their lives, and they declined to do so because our government told them not to. Wow. That was until the 1960s when a guy by the name of Peter Buxton, who was a venereal disease investigator in San Francisco, who was also working for the Department of Health, found out about this experiment. He said, this is wrong. This study is wrong. He expressed his concerns that it was unethical. And do you want to know what our government did? Well, they conducted a review. They said, we should look at this. Peter seems upset. Let's look and see if this is the wrong thing. Maybe we should actually see if we should stop this study. Do you want to know what they concluded at the end? They concluded that actually, no, we're going to keep letting these men die. It's ethical. We're going to keep it going on. The Department of Health and the CDC decided to still let more men die. So that guy, Peter, did the right thing, and he leaked it to the press. And in 1972, only because it was leaked to the press, the study was shut down. Only because people found out about what they were doing did our government decide to do the right thing and stop it. It's 40 years of watching men die. By that time in 1972, 128 of the participants were dead from syphilis or related complications. 40 of their spouses were diagnosed with syphilis, and the disease had been passed to 19 children at birth. It's unbelievable to think about that. It's unbelievable to think that the CDC and our Department of Health, who is supposed to be preventing death, would allow men to die. It took until 1997 for our government to officially recognize how wrong this was. It was actually President Clinton who issued a formal presidential apology. Here's what he said. He said, quote, What was done cannot be undone, but we can end the silence. We can stop turning our heads away. We can look at you in the eye and finally say on behalf of the American people, what the United States government did was shameful, and I am sorry. I love that quote. So powerful, Bill. I love but we can end the silence, right? Almost like people are saying, you did something wrong for decades, and government is just ignoring it, just saying, no, we didn't do anything wrong. And then finally, okay, we can stop silencing you guys. We can admit we did something wrong. But so much time has passed, who cares? CDC is still there. They were allowed to say. The Department of Health Services is still there. I don't know if anybody was ever fired for that study, but at least Bill Clinton said sorry for silencing you guys at home. It reminds me really of my favorite biblical proverb. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. I'm going to leave you with that Bible verse, and you can take from it what you will.